Welcome everyone to the MMOs.com podcast. We're at episode 195 now, and this is Altai, joined this week by
Omer.
All right, and another session another week. And
I want to start off this week with probably my favorite story of the week. I actually ran into this story earlier today, and it's Final Fantasy XIV related, and by far the best promotion for any fast food place to work with a game company ever. And it's called Chinese FF14 players are eating inhuman piles of KFC to earn chocobos, and with the subtitle of "Winner Winner Chicken Dinner." So Jody McGregor, if you came up with that subtitle for this story, good for you. It's a great subtitle. I like it.
So what is this promotion? It seems like a lot of chicken involved. Yeah,
so there's a promotion in the game where in China, it's only China unfortunately, where if you have to go to KFC with a group of 4 friends, and you can scroll down to see what you have to eat. So if you finish this meal, you can see the meal right below the video over there. If you finish that meal, one person on your table gets a chocobo, a rare chocobo, like a special promotional chocobo mount. So you have to go with 4 friends, and each friend has to eat a double chicken burger, a vegan mushroom burger, a 5-piece chicken nuggets, 2 original recipe chickens, 2 New Orleans chicken wings, 1 old Beijing spicy duck roll, 2 large Pepsis, and 2 large peach oolong teas. There's 4 beverages and all that food. And there's a picture of the food if you scroll down. And all 4 people have to finish it. So if everybody on the table, so remember, that's multiplied by 4. That's like you're splitting all that. Each person has to eat that.
No. So wait. So each person has to eat 2, right? So this picture is everything for the 4.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, each person eat 2 of those?
Well, no. So the picture I'm showing, this is what all 4 collectively have to eat.
Yes, that's what all 4 people have to collectively eat.
Okay, it's not like one person has to eat this. Okay.
Yes, 4 people have to eat that. So, but each person is getting 4 beverages, 4 large beverages, and all that food. So if all 4 people finish this your meal, one person at the table gets this chocobo. It's not like everybody gets one either. One person does. So every group of 4, one person gets it.
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible.
I gotta say, I'm not impressed. I could eat this, no problem.
4 beverages, the 4 large beverages, I think is the big.
You see my beverage drinking, so no problem.
But it's a really cool promotion because you kind of have to work together. You go with 4 people that are reliable. You gotta get the old reliable people. None of those 90-pound girls. You can't bring those e-girls with you. Donut wouldn't make it. All right.
No, she would not.
So it's cool because only one person gets a reward. So it's almost like in Final Fantasy XIV, like when you do a raid, there's only 1 drop on the boss or 2 drops, and you got to split with 8 people. So only 1 in 4 people in a raid get loot anyway. So there's 2 drops divided by 8 people, 1 in 4. So they kind of match that up as well. So you can't go there by yourself. You need a group of 4. And I thought it was the coolest promotion ever because apparently the staff are enforcing the rules. They don't just give them out to anyone. And something like this would make me go to KFC anywhere. It's a really interesting promotion that actually has you like a challenge. It's a bit of a challenge, much more so than anything else. And you can scroll down to see some of the comments people are leaving on in Final Fantasy XIV.
They wiped.
Look at it, you can see Party Finder over there. There's a KFC Extreme. I am full DPS. And you can see I'm done. What about you? Never again. Our team was wiped. Failed to pull the roll burger apart during phase 2. Main tank pulled 2 burgers. Just leave the Coke alone. Focus on the chicken. I was wiped at 5% solo. You must distribute damage from the Pepsi. Don't let it stack.
Oh, this
is. I went to the toilet. They took away my meal and gave me a new one. What the fuck?
This is the cutest one. The little girl. Lalafell is doing it.
There's an undersized party. Undersized party is basically, if you want to do a 4-man dungeon with 1 person, or 2 people. That's actually that is the cutest picture. That little girl trying to eat all the food by herself. I thought it was a really, really cool promotion. We do get to, the only Final Fantasy XIV promotions I've seen are like the pizza ones with Papa John's and stuff, where you get a small discount on the pizza and that's it. And that's and you might get or if you buy 1 pastry, you get a code for an item in game. But that's so boring. This actually encourages camaraderie. It encourages you to get 4 people and leave the house. Obviously to gouge on way too much food. Way 3,000 calories worth of food. But I thought it was an amazing promotion. I would love to see something like this in stateside.
I would love to see a lot more. Based on TV shows and movies, there's a lot of this. If you finish this food in 40-30 minutes, it's free, right? But there's actually very few of those in real life. I feel those are eating challenges. So yeah, I'm all for eating challenges. We need more of those in our lives.
But it's a fun way to tie MMORPGs in general are cooperative games. Raids, dungeons. You're playing with other people. And I actually love the fact that this is cooperative. If it was a solo experience, it wouldn't be that great. It'd be a neat promo. But the fact that you're doing it with 4 people and 1 person gets a reward, It's awesome, and obviously it's a great moneymaker for KFC as well because that's a lot of food. How much did that meal cost? You have to come there 4 times for everyone to get their to get their reward.
That's true though. The U.S. people would need a difficulty spike, so they'd have to make it a little harder for us here in the U.S. You know.
On average, definitely, we're definitely bigger people here, so we can eat quite a bit more. So I'm curious what the calorie count for this would be. It's going to be. I said 3,000. Canary said way more. I'm guessing 4,000 calories for each person. It's a good meal. This was my favorite story of the week by far.
Man, it is a fun story. Any word on how much the item is selling for?
Oh, no idea. It's just I have no idea.
I'm sure it's gonna be a valuable item.
It looks like a black. I'm not sure if the same chocobo they were giving out in the West, for the same black chocobo that you got from buying stuff on Amazon in the West. Because I think in the Western version, if you spent like $20 on Amazon, you got like a black chocobo, which is, if it's the same price, it's kind of lame considering the Chinese players are earning it much more than the Westerners. All we gotta do is spend $25 to get it. So I'm not sure. But that is my favorite promo I've seen. It's awesome. Go Asia. And I'm glad the players made a lot of good memes out of it too, and you can see in the article.
My favorite story of the past, I think, 2 weeks. This might be a little bit old now, but I think it's worth covering. So we had yet another Kickstarter MMO project, right? This one was called Raw, and it was just it was basically, think of like GTA Online, but more like in the West, like the American West. Mm-hmm. And basically it promised the world, like all these games do, totally player-driven economy, persistent housing, all this kind of stuff, right? And it obviously raised a lot of money, a lot more than they asked for initially. But we had a surprise move from Kickstarter. Kickstarter actually suspended the project and said, "Nah, we're calling you out. This is bullshit. You guys can, with your team of like 3 people, two people, my bad.
2 people that, by the way, were unemployed for the last like 3 years. They said they were working on this game, and they spent 10,000 euros of their own money on it. So 2 people that were working on this game. That's it.
Yeah, and so I'm very surprised, first of all, that Kickstarter did suspend it, because we've seen a lot of bullshit go through on Kickstarter, and a lot of these Kickstarter MMOs especially, we're still waiting for them. They're still haven't really delivered the cards. So I'm glad that Kickstarter has a few people were kind of like surprised that there's a worrying trend on Kickstarter. I disagree. I think this is a good step by Kickstarter. Well overdue. They have to start monitoring their platform, making sure these blatant scams don't go through.
It is amazing though how many people are willing to be like buying into this. Like if you just read some of if you watch their video trying to see what they promised, they're promising GTA Online, but which obviously GTA 5 took like over $100 million to make, a huge studio of all veterans, and probably more than 100 million actually, and they're promising more than that, which is insane. So if you scroll down all the way to the advanced metabolism and disease system achieved, they are promising. If you read the second paragraph, we want to make metabolism more advanced. We will make a simple mathematical models of all human organs, connect them, and make one organ work with another. We'll also add infections, various diseases, and encyclopedia of these diseases. Who are they fooling? Like, what are they smoking? They're going to make a mathematical model of every organ in the body for each character and how they affect each other. Come on! Like, this doesn't pass a sniff test. This is obviously a scam. Like, the guys are clearly stupidly ambitious, but who thinks this is going to happen? Who thinks 2 douchebags who've never made a game before, unemployed in their own homes, are going to code this amazing game with all these features when GTA Online doesn't have this level of granularity, this level of depth? Come on!
And just to put in perspective here, so they were asking for, I think, 75,000, and they got I got to convert this to dollars, but they got over double what they were asking for within days until the project was suspended. I suspect if it was not suspended, this might be over $1 million. So there are a lot of suckers.
So easy to fool people.
Yeah.
This is insane though. How they can promise this much. But I think Kickstarter specifically said that they suspended this for one. They didn't say it was a scam. They said they suspended it because they mentioned in one of their updates that they're going to need more money than what this Kickstarter is raising to complete the project. And they're saying they're going to need more outside funding. So even if they raise anything they ask for, it's still not enough. Which apparently you're not allowed to do on Kickstarter, which is pretty interesting because I'm pretty sure one of the other Kickstarter MMORPGs made the same comment that they what we raised here is not enough and we're going to need outside funding to complete the project, and they never got suspended. So maybe that rule is only enforced when they think when they think the game itself is a scam, or they think it's more unlikely.
Yeah, like you said, I think it's routine now to include even in the Kickstarter itself that this is only part 1. Then we're going to go to Indiegogo. We're going to pre-order on our website. Raise like Star Citizen kept raising money and it's still raising money on their own site, even though they had a Kickstarter where they had certain promises being made.
So in terms of like some of the features in this game seem more ambitious than the details in Star Citizen, which we've all agreed was crazy ambitious. I mean, by the way, Star Citizen is up to $230 million. It is already, I think, the most highest development cost game in the world at $230 million, which is pretty nuts. I am glad this also got pulled. I don't want to see people then again, I do think anyone that funded this game, let's say that this game was not suspended. Honestly, people that funded this game, they deserve to lose their money. I think if you fund this game, you gave a donation to some guys in Germany, at Killer Whale Games. So I don't feel bad for people that funded any real Kickstarter scam or Kickstarter nonsense. I mean, they should know better. You should look at what you're getting.
But that's not fair though, because people clearly don't know better. And I think a lot of these projects, they kind of hit the same primal nerve as literal cults. And the cults that are successful are the most absurd ones, where the guy promises everything, like he's God, he's gonna bring like salvation. He's talking to aliens, he's in communion with aliens, and people want to follow those kind of people. So if this guy said, "Look, we're making a very basic game, it's gonna be role playing, they won't actually be player run, but you got to kind of enforce it with your own small group of players," a sandbox where it relies on the mods and admins to maintain could work. But these guys are promising everything, and that's why they got the money. If you make a narrow game, people aren't going to fund it for millions of dollars.
Yes, you're right, and that's why they're promising so much. But I think the people that get fooled into handing their money over, I think it's a relatively inexpensive lesson for them to learn. Like
there's no learning. There's no learning going on.
It's pretty new. I mean, it's been around for like 6 years now, but it's still relatively new. People do have to get burned before they realize, wait a minute, people are lying on the internet. Like, come on, people need to be scammed. I really do believe that if you get scammed, whether it's in a game or on a Kickstarter project or something, that will raise your senses. That will raise your alertness. I can't imagine.
I disagree.
Like, somebody.
I don't. I think. Oh no, there's an article actually about scams, phone scams. People literally call you and say, "Hey, you owe me money. You're in debt. Please send money here." Right? Mm-hmm. And they say the lists of numbers and names that are worth more are the ones that previously fell for a scam. So if you got scammed into giving someone money on the phone, and you realize it's a scam too, you are actually more likely to fall for that exact same scam again in the future than a random person.
Okay, yes, I read the same article, and those stats prove out to be true, but it might be a little different for these Kickstarter projects, but that is some pretty damning evidence there.
Like, imagine this. The average person who funded like a Chronicles of Elyria, right? Mm-hmm. Is he more or less likely than the average population to have also funded Star Citizen, to also have funded like all the other ones?
I don't know, actually. That's a good point.
There's a correlation.
How much overlap there is between people that funded Star Citizen and people that funded Chronicles of Elyria or
they're still funding games. They're still funding these Kickstarter. Once you're in, they got you.
I'm with Nova. Let natural selection at work right there. But I don't think it's analogous, the phone scam one you mentioned, because those people that call you on the phone to scam you and rip you off, it's a very personalized scam. They're literally working you on the phone one-on-one. Whereas these Kickstarter scams or any of these crowdfunding campaigns, it's more of like a net. They throw it out there, they're promising the world. It's a little different. Because people that fall for the scam on the phone are literally just people that are vulnerable to being convinced in a one-on-one atmosphere where they're basically tugging on their emotions. Oh, like, my daughter is going to die unless I get some money to bring her to the hospital. Those people are clearly, they're being worked on one-on-one. So I don't think it's going to be the same thing on these Kickstarter scams. I think somebody gets burnt on like Greedmonger, which is, that game never came out. It was a Kickstarter. I think the guys that funded that game, I would love to see where the overlap is. If there's a kind of like a web we can see of people that funded that game and they fund any other Kickstarter scams. My guess is that the people that funded the scams end up not funding future scams, but that's maybe being a little too optimistic.
I think so. I would take the opposite view, that if you fund one game, your propensity to fund future games is way higher than the gamer populace overall. Mm-hmm. Right. But anyway, it's a fun story. I'm actually glad that it got suspended, and I hope that Kickstarter does start cleaning up their platform. Whatever excuse they had for renting it is probably good enough for me.
I think the funniest comment was Nova Ariela made a comment, says the name of the company actually makes a lot of sense because they are killing whales. It's called the Whale. the company that made this game is like Whale Killer Games.
Killer Whale.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah,
Killer Whale Games. They're killing whales. So if you scroll down and look at the pledges, the 3,000 euro pledge is literally called Narcissist. Okay, and 5 backers gave them 3,000 euros. What is going on in their mind? They get 20 digital copies of the game, 3 unique. You get license plate numbers in the game. Come on, like, this is nuts. And they sold out. They don't. These guys didn't even want more people to give them 3,000 euros. You know what? 5 people gave us 3,000 euros. That's enough for us. That's it. We're walking away. You want to give us 3K euros? We don't want your money anymore.
Amazing.
That's insane. Insane. it's if you haven't seen the video, I do recommend checking it out just to see how much they're promising. The Kickstarter itself promises quite a bit, and the developers have claimed to keep working on the game outside of Kickstarter. And honestly, if these guys just posted the same campaign on Indiegogo, they're going to raise another $200,000 plus. You know?
Oh yeah, I think when there's a will, there's a way. They'll get their money from these people one way or another.
Good for them. Good for them. Yeah, that's the latest Kickstarter nonsense of the week, and it is remarkable how successful they got.
Kickstarter is... Yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah. In other news, I know Astellia is coming into closed beta 2 on July 30th, as I see the ad plastered all over MMOs.com, guys. I'm plugging there for them. They're advertising with us, and I should totally be shilling their game. But honestly, actually, if you want to check the game out, closed beta is the best time to play. It's free to play in the closed beta. I'm not sold on the game, by the way. You know, they're advertising with us, but I'm still not sold on the game, only because it's buy to play. If it's a free to play game, I recommend just actually giving it a real try when it comes out. But because it's not free to play, I'm gonna give it a pass because because it's free to play in Korea. I don't think it warrants spending money on it. But if you're curious what Astellia is all about, the closed beta begins on July 30th and runs until August 5th. Buy to play.
Yeah, I mean, the buy to play was surprising because, like you said, it's free to play in Korea. I don't know why they. Well, I know why they did this. They want the initial people to
money.
just it's for money. They're gonna make a lot of money, and it's gonna go free to play in like a year.
100%, not even a year. 100%. Arima's betting all the marbles. Astellia goes free to play within 6 months of launch, for sure. I think they saw the numbers for BDO, and honestly, a lot of games it's acceptable to go buy to play and then within like 6 months go free to play. So why not monetize both sides of that coin? People that really want to play early on are going to pay, and you make money off them, and then bring everybody else in afterwards. It's like the ultimate like business decision. It's a lot of people are monetizing early access the same way too. Like 6 days or 1 week early access costs money and whatnot. But Astellia is in its core a very standard Korean fantasy MMORPG. It does almost nothing different. But where they do something different is their stealth system, which is obviously the name of the game. So the game is still doing something a little bit different, and basically it allows every class in the game to be like a pet user. You know, a lot of MMORPGs is usually 1 or 2 pet classes in the game. In this game you collect Estelles, which are just pets in the game, and there's a whole bunch of them, like over 20 of them in the game, and they level up as well on their own. And you can summon 3 of them out at once, and they literally just fight stuff for you. It's like a pet. If you have 1 Estelle out, it can be out there permanently. If you have more than 1, it starts draining one of your CP meter. And so if even an emergency situation, you can summon like 3 pets at once, just kill everything around you. But then your meter is draining real quick. So it's kind of neat the way that works. It allows every class to be a pet class, which is a little bit different. It's not like a defining feature that's like, holy shit, this is so cool. But like, it's nice. Every class gets to be a pet user. That's their special sauce. I'm not sure it's gonna be enough to carry them, but it's a nice feature. I like it, collecting the waifus. But I don't think I can recommend buying it.
It should be noted that the game is running on Unreal 3, which is the same engine as Bless. And
yeah, it's a big oof. Optimization problems as well. I played the first round of closed beta testing. I thought it was okay. I played it, only like 3-4 hours really, because I don't like playing closed betas knowing they're gonna be wiped, and obviously they're gonna be wiped. But it didn't run super well even in closed beta. I did have some FPS issues, and that's with the RTX 2080. I think I was actually playing on 1080 resolution too, because I record at 1080.
Yeah, the problem with the engine choice is that it can't actually utilize these the newer hardware. I think you can only utilize 1 or 2 cores of a CPU. So everything beyond that is just not even used or recognized by the older engines.
I think Canaris made that was my official review right there too. Official Astellia review. It's better than Bless. Not a very high bar to beat, because Bless was a dumpster fire, as in the wise words of my friend Zim. It was a complete dumpster fire, but it does run better than Bless. And also, I'm pretty sure Blade and Soul ran on Unreal Engine 3 as well. I'm pretty sure they're transitioning to Unreal Engine 4 if they haven't done so already. And that game, I think, ran a lot better than Astellia or Bless Online. Quite a bit better, actually.
Well, I think Astellia is the only actual MMORPG released this year so far. I can't think. Are there any other games that fit that bill?
Astellia is not quite out. It's coming out in September, technically.
Right. So it might just win the MMORPG of the year.
Oh God, no! Please no.
By default,
That's true. We do have our yearly awards there. Well, who do we give it to last year?
I think MapleStory 2.
Yeah, honestly, it just there aren't that many MMORPG launches every year nowadays. Like some obscure games will launch, but like not that many big titles actually end up launching per year. And we try to give our MMORPG of the year award to what launched that year. So we have usually very slim pickings. Thank God we have to give it to Bless. Oof, that would have been terrible.
Yeah. So I mean, so far, if Astellia comes out in September, it might just win by default, because I think Air was supposed to come out this year, but has been pretty slow going with that one.
Legends of Aria is coming out in August. Yeah, it is. We put the article on that for MMOs.com, but it's not really coming out in August, guys. The game came out into early access in open beta in December of 2018.
No wipe,
right?
yeah, no wipe open beta came out
Yeah.
earlier. So this is only August is the Steam launch.
Yeah, and it's weird because they're calling it early access. So I'm very confused. Does early access come like? Is it early access open beta release, or is it like open beta early access release? What's the order? In my mind, I always thought early access came before open beta.
No, I think early access just means open beta.
Really?
It's another word for.
I've seen games go from like early access to open beta.
That's a good question. But anyway, when there's no more wipes, we count that as a launch here in the real world. All right.
Mm-hmm. I think WoW Classic was definitely launching this year. So WoW Classic is gonna be our MMORPG of the year. Does that count, Altai?
If we choose to count that, probably.
Yeah. There's a lot of mobile MMOs. I think we'll have a category for mobile game of the year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mobile MMO of the year too, maybe. There you go. Early access doesn't really mean anything. It's a way of saying your game is shitty and coded poorly. There you go. It's like your blanket statement for like, hey, there's something wrong with your game. Early access, bro. You know, you can't criticize me. Early access. Honestly, the thing that like one of the things that grinds my gears the most in a lot of games is when people like provide legitimate criticism for a game, and fans of that game just end up saying, "Bro, it's early access, brah." Like, shut the fuck up. It's not like it's early access. You're charging money for these packs to access your game. The game might be out for like 2 years already and it's still early access. No, that's not an excuse to say it's early access at that point, all right? Just accept the criticism and move on, you know? I do think a lot of people are very defensive for games they like, which is very weird. You know, you can like a game, but, you know, there's legitimate criticism to be had for a game that you love. You know, like, I love League of Legends. I love Final Fantasy XIV. You know, there's a lot of criticism for both games that are completely valid. And I've seen people, like, take legitimate criticism and just, like, no, that's wrong, you know, because of this. I don't know. It's like there's some just objective things that like Final Fantasy XIV could do to improve the game. Like objectively, they could improve the tick rates on the game. The way it's actually really bizarre in Final Fantasy XIV. If you haven't played the game and you play for the first time and you're rating, it feels like the game is broken because they might be like an AOE circle underneath you, or you might you'll cast a spell, right? And when you move, it would normally cancel your spell cast. Obviously, you can't move and cast spells at once, right? But the way the tick rates work in Final Fantasy XIV is you could be halfway through your spell and literally just sprint across the screen and your spell would still finish casting. Because the tick rate is so low, so absurd, that and sometimes if you move, it'll cancel instantly. But sometimes it might still cast for 0.5 seconds or 0.6 seconds. So you can actually slide cast in the game where you can cast your spell 75% and then move and it'll still cast. Because the game's tick rates are beyond stupid. Sometimes, though, you might get unlucky and you might move and it might cancel your spell. It's really, really bad. And you might get clipped by AoEs that normally shouldn't hit you because you moved out of them like a full half a second ago, and you still get hit by them because the tick rates are awful. It's really bizarre. Like that's objectively like a performance issue in the game that you know is a detriment to the game, in my opinion. And some people like would defend that, saying, "Oh, it adds difficulty." Well, yeah, sure. In a way, yeah, it could add difficulty, but just stupid. You know, just adding difficulty in of itself is not like a good thing. You can add difficulty in other ways too.
Has that stayed consistent throughout the game? Have they lowered it? Or,
nope, it's been remarkably consistent the entire time. I'm pretty sure. You know, Yoshi P, the game's lead designer guy, producer, has actually even said like it adds difficulty, and people use that as like the defense for it. You know, like they just don't want to fix it at this point. It seems, but it's just really bizarre. No other MMORPG has it that bad. It's almost like a joke, the way it is.
I wonder why. It must be to accommodate you know console players or.
Look at Altai. Altai's always trying to blame the console players. You hear that?
Why else? Why else?
It wasn't even related to consoles, and the man just
it is.
Fuck those console players.
Hold on.
You're ruining my game. Those fucking
every game that has cross-platform like that is gonna need some kind of you know gimmick for the console players to be even with the PC players.
Okay, you trying to deport all console players, huh?
Yeah, I am. And actually,
you want to build a wall and keep them out?
Make
Sony pay for it. So it's not too. It never bothered me. I don't know. Derpy. I've been caught on like AOE's that shouldn't have hit me. Sometimes sometimes it's the other way around too. Like I'll benefit from it too. But for the slide casting, like if you just try slide casting in the game, it's a really dumb mechanic. It should not be a thing. It's just bizarre and doesn't make sense. PC players want constantly support the PC, but never the other way around. Whoa, that is correct. We PC players are just greedy. All right, we want all the good stuff for ourselves.
That's right.
Could be a winning platform for 2020. Then again, we do have the gamer president. I don't know how many of you guys are following that account on Twitter. I strongly recommend it. It's a hilarious parody account for a gamer president. So I strongly recommend following that if you haven't seen it.
It is a good account.
Dead. Yes.
I think earlier Canary said a good point with the early access. If there's any way, if the game is being monetized in any way, you can't, use early access excuse. Okay, if you want my money, right, I get to judge the game on the based on if it's worth the money, right? So it's open to criticism if it's asking money from me.
I think that's fair. Yeah, you ask for money, you open to criticism. If you're a free open beta or something, closed beta, you can cost money later. There's no way to spend money. Fine, you get a pass from me. The moment you start asking for money is when the moment you have to accept criticism.
Really, we're getting the worst of all the worlds, though. People, a lot of these Kickstarter games specifically are like, you have to pay for the privilege of like closed alpha early access test, like the earliest phase where normally people get paid to test your game and give you feedback, right? Like professional game testers. Instead, they literally monetize the testing early testing phase.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. But yeah, that's been one of my biggest pet peeves in games. Final Fantasy 14 especially. The Final Fantasy 14 community is not open to criticism. If you criticize Final Fantasy 14, you will be skewered by hardcore fans of the game, as we've seen in our previous podcast. We talked about Lazy Peon. Some of it was deserved, and most of that was definitely.
I still haven't watched that video. I'm gonna write that down.
It's gone. It's gone. He deleted it.
No!
He felt bullied into deleting it.
Oh, basically. I wish there's someone as a re-upload, probably.
I'm sure there's a re-upload somewhere. But I don't think you. I mean, look, I think he said two things I think that were just outright wrong. But the rest of it was like just his opinion, bro. He should have to say my opinion, bro, after every statement he makes. That's
sad. Oh yeah, I wanted to see that.
Yeah, I think there was a good discussion I had with somebody earlier too. I think a lot of MMORPG, like what is the balance between developer feedback and between developer and player communication? I feel like in Final Fantasy 14 in a lot of MMORPGs there's like zero like interaction between like players and developers in terms of producing new content or balance changes. Whereas you have games like RuneScape, which have like direct polls in the game where they ask their audience like before new changes get added to the game if you approve or disapprove of the new changes. And if the polls say no, the new changes don't make it to the game. So I think that's like one extreme. And then you have like MapleStory 2 and a few other games taking the middle approach where they basically the developers are active on the forums, communicating with like the hardcore players, trying to figure out like what needs improvement, how players feel about certain things. And they poll their users like, well, what's going on? Like, how do you feel about it? And then you have a lot of games like Final Fantasy 14, which I feel like there's zero interaction between developers and players. Only time I watch the live letters and stuff. I watch a lot of the developer communication, but it's almost always one-way communication. And they'll talk about stuff like Eureka content, so new content, and how players receive that content, right? But the way they judge player like satisfaction or the way if it's successful or not was completion rates. So if players reach max level in Eureka, they'll see that as a good thing, which that's one good way of measuring it too. But there's a lot of stuff that there's no communication between developers and players in a lot of MMORPGs. I think Final Fantasy 14 is like that as well.
I actually prefer that. I think a lot of the mystery is lost when there's a lot of back, even like test servers. Even when I was playing these games, Hardcore, in EverQuest, and WoW, Daok, I never really played on the test servers because I feel like it would just kind of lose the magic if I, got to experience it before actually it being live and me seeing it for the first time. And it's kind of the reason, like you said, I avoid closed betas when I can because I just don't want to ruin the first initial experience of, leveling and a character.
Well, you're right. You're right there for sure. But just certain decisions, I feel like they could avoid a lot of errors if they like ask, especially when you're like designing content for like hardcore players on the Savage stuff. Like that stuff, I think is a good idea to get some player feedback. And obviously, I think Zen makes a good point too. You can't always expect players to drive development. And I don't think I never said Square Enix or any game company should outright accept what players say as like fact. Even if a lot of players support a popular decision, doesn't mean it's a good decision. Obviously, they should weigh their own thoughts as professional game designers, that do this for a living, and weigh that along with what players think, and use player feedback and incorporate it into the design how you want to do it. I think anytime you accept player, like I know Shirley told me a lot of horror stories about how dumb players were and how to solve problems like their dumb one way of thinking. And but I think it's good to still see where the player feedback really just tells you where the pressure points are, and the developers can work around those pressure points the way they think is the best way to do it, rather than just trying to let players drive development, which I think is just a no-no.
Well, as the great Henry Ford once said, if I asked people what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse.
There you go.
So
true.
Don't ask people what they want. Just give it to them. They'll take it and they'll like it.
All right. Speaking of, you mentioned RuneScape a little earlier. I think probably one of the funniest and most bizarre stories of the week was involving Jagex and a player suing Jagex because that player got muted in the game. Did you hear about this, Altai? It's the stupidest thing ever.
I saw the headline. I didn't read it. So give me the
I'll give you the rundown. So if you click on the Google Drive link on the article I just sent you, Altai, so you can see, if you look at the Jagex 2.pdf, you can see the complaint filed in civil court in Pennsylvania. So this Jagex, this RuneScape player, he claimed that his civil rights, his due process, and his freedom of speech were violated by Jagex muting him in RuneScape. All right, and obviously, whoa, surprise, surprise, the judge called him a retard and threw it out. Basically, all right.
We dismiss Mr. El-Sari's complaint for failure to state plausible claims.
Yeah, but basically, it's funny because he lists his complaint, his the people he's complaining against as Jagex, obviously, and Shanghai Fukong, and the other subsidiary of the Chinese developer that owns it, Interactive Entertainment, and Shanghai Hongtu. And he never even point out that they were related. So the judge is like, you have yet to point out why these other Chinese companies are related to your complaint against Jagex. It doesn't make any sense. And obviously the judge is like, you can't complain about due process because that's only related to government, not private companies. And free speech is also, the First Amendment is not related to this Jagex banning you in game. So it's really bizarre. If you look at Jagex, look at the first PDF as well, jagex.pdf, and scroll down. You can see his complaint himself. If you scroll down all the way to page 7 or 8 at the bottom. So he complained of violation of due process, discrimination, and free speech. He claimed human rights violations. If you mute me on in RuneScape, that is a human rights violation, according to this individual.
Also, what's up with this guy writing with a marker?
Yeah, this guy's, I don't know, there's something wrong with him. I can tell there's something wrong with this guy by the way he writes. All right?
Yeah. What is, dude? Stay in the lines.
Read the facts of the case, Altai.
What page is that?
One above.
Facts. Company operates public game, open to public, free plus membership. Rules to game, break rule equal ban. Plaintiff was muted without being notified. Plaintiff is streamer 2000 hours and invested Jagex notes, see mod notes, no reason. Denied appeal, no reason. Viewers on stream witnessed. He's got witnesses, guys. This guy's bringing out the. You think someone trolled him into one of his viewers trolled him into filing this? Dude, you got a case here.
Dude, there's some real streamer privilege over here. This guy thinks because he streams to 10 people on Twitch, he thinks he's a somebody. Or he's got witnesses. All right, he's a Twitch streamer. Okay, the plaintiff is a streamer with hold on, guys, with 2,000 hours streamed. All right, whoa. All right, this guy's kind of a big deal. All right.
This is amazing.
It just seems like there was no thought process put into this. Surprise, surprise, you got banned in a game. And the terms of service says they can do where the fuck they want. It's a private game. They can ban you for any reason, and you have no claims. That giant terms of service you agree to when you launch their game that tells you, you got nothing, buddy. You got nothing. They can do whatever they want. And then it sounds like he sounds autistic, to be honest. Honestly, he might be. Yeah, there are a lot of armchair lawyers out there. That's true, Canaris.
No, there's something really wrong with this guy. Like mentally, he is not all there.
You have to be. Yeah, it has to be. There's no other explanation for this. I'm curious how old this guy is too. To be it's just weird.
It is weird.
Usually people little kids will whine I'm going to sue you. But no, this guy filed the paperwork. Good for him. He took initiative, right?
I feel bad for the judge who has to deal with nutcases like this.
No, it's funny if you read some the stuff on here because the judge is kind of confused. The plaintiff alleges, in quotes, he was muted, and he alleges this was unfair. The judge has no idea what these terms mean. What is he talking about?
Bring out the game judge.
Sounding like publicity stuff for a stream. Honestly, Nova Aria, it's not the kind of publicity you want. I feel like anybody that jumps on a stream is gonna he'll be known as the retard that complained about this.
We can't use that word. He's gonna sue you. Okay, be careful for honestly, lies and slander and libel.
I should probably, it's all jokes, guys. I was kidding. I love this guy. He's a great gamer, and I'm glad he's defending his rights.
A great legal mind as well. All right, a scholar of the law.
So I read this whole thing. There's a lot of funny bits on here about just it's very confusing. This whole situation. I feel bad for him as well. I think this guy sued a few other I think he sued his landlord for something too, and he didn't want to pay rent. This guy's definitely a prolific suer. I found this because I followed Connor, the MMO Fallout guy on Twitter. He's worth following too if you follow the MMO stuff. And I don't think anybody else covered this, so I'm glad he did. That was a fun story for the week.
I got another fun story. So this game called Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I believe, is the newest one. I don't even know.
Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah,
Super Mario Odyssey. That's right. And it's an Ubisoft game. I haven't actually played any of these Assassin's Creed games, but they look nice. I like watching the trailers. And they added a new feature recently that allows, or you might like this, allows players to make their own quests, their own content. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, but funnily enough, they made the same mistake literally every single company that does this makes.
And everyone tried the same mistake.
Yes, where the user-generated content rewards experience when you kill monsters and stuff. So what do people do? They created some nonsensical stage, right, where it just easily farms experience. You know, I know in Neverwinter, the best one was basically the ogres would spawn from the ceiling. They would fall into a spike pit right in front of you and just die over and over again, and you just get massive experience. So something similar to that must have happened here, where Ubisoft has said we're nerfing the shit out of the experience gain in the player content. And no surprise.
I didn't realize this was to be a problem. Like, this is the first thing you should think of. Okay, how can players exploit this? Like, if that's not what you're thinking when you're adding features to a game, like, you're just doing it wrong. You know, when your game is exposed to millions of players, everyone to try finding loopholes and weird ways to exploit it.
Mm-hmm.
So they got exactly what they deserved. You know, it should have been obvious to them. But then again, as we've seen, companies just don't learn. You know, like, oftentimes the same company doesn't learn. I remember the bug in the exploit in Neverwinter when it first launched. You could bid negative amounts of premium currency in the premium currency auction house, the diamond auction house. If you bid a negative amount, you just get that much money. So you bid for item, you bid like negative 10,000, and it would say you lost the auction, but you get 10,000 refund back. So you just literally get infinite money that way. And the problem is that exact same bug was in Star Trek Online. The exact same bug, literally, was in Star Trek Online before it came to Neverwinter, and they didn't realize or didn't fix or didn't. How does that happen within the same company, within the same developer? You know, so I'm not surprised it happened with Ubisoft.
Yeah, I mean, Ubisoft is one of those companies that's kind of, when I think of Ubisoft, I still think of a console company, basically, right? Mm-hmm. But do you know more that the PC gaming was their biggest source of revenue last quarter?
I saw the headline on Reddit. How was it broken down, though?
So the breakdown is 34% of net bookings is PC, 31% PS4, so pretty close, and then 18% Xbox. Switch is 5%, mobile 7%. So yeah, 34% comes from PC.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty surprising.
Go Ubisoft. I don't really play a lot of Ubisoft games. I'm surprised they're so small on mobile. I feel a lot of Western companies really haven't taken off on mobile the way Asian companies have. You know, I know Activision Blizzard, besides, well, they have Candy Crush. They're killing it over there. But Blizzard itself has done nothing on mobile really yet. You know, even and Ubisoft hasn't really done anything on mobile either. A lot of these Western companies just don't have a big mobile presence. Even EA, you know, they have some mobile games, but like nothing's crazy big over there.
Mm-hmm. Actually, speaking of revenue here, as a fun stat for EA, FIFA Ultimate Team, 28% of EA's revenue comes from that one game.
That's insane. I never thought it'd be like that crazy.
So why are they bothering with Anthem and like Dragon Age? Who cares? Just pump out those Lootbox soccer balls, all right? That's all people want.
I still don't know what FIFA Ultimate Team is. Is it the same as like FIFA 18 or FIFA 19?
FIFA Ultimate.
Are these separate games, or is FIFA Ultimate like a part of FIFA 18?
I genuinely have no idea. Let's find out.
Yeah, I never knew. It's amazing that these games can make so much money. Is it Ultimate? It's a mode within FIFA. Okay. So it's a gacha FIFA play. I know that part, Nova. I didn't know it was a separate game or it was within the buy-to-play FIFA game. It's amazing, though, how they've monetized, like, soccer with the gacha. It's like, I don't know. I'd rather get, like, fake Grand Order mobile gacha waifus than I get FIFA players. You know, I don't want to get, like, a sweaty dude from a soccer ball gacha. I'd rather get, like, my 90% naked Fox girl from fake Grand Order. What about you, Alpha? If you had to spend $1,000 on fake Grand Order, gorgeous waifus.
No, I buy the soccer balls.
Why?
I support my home team. All right, the home team is USA, EA. Actually, funny enough, I think this FIFA division is based in Vancouver, right here where I am. So I gotta support the home team more.
All right, let's say EA was Chinese, okay?
Oh, EA's Chinese. Then not EA. Whatever. Anything.
Let's say they're both Japanese. They're both Japanese. Now which one would you say? Just to get the bias out of there.
Oh man.
I would much rather spend $1,000 on hot fake Grand Order lollies and waifus. All right, that's a remote play. You want the sweaty dudes, Altai? You want sweaty dudes?
Oh, I'll take the whole team of sweaty dudes. Nah, in that case,
you want a golden Ronaldo, a tier 9 Ronaldo? Fuck that.
Whatever I can resell. I have no preference.
You can't resell either. Which one would you rather have?
I'll flip a coin. It makes no difference.
You're not gonna play either. You probably have a better chance of playing
I flip
fake
a coin
Grand Order because it's on mobile.
Oh, that's true. It is on mobile.
All right, that's what I thought. Altai would choose fake Grand Order waifus as well. At the end of the day, Altai, you would choose the waifus. Is that what you're telling me?
I would choose the waifus on mobile only because they're mobile.
You just don't want to say it though. But there's some quality waifus in Fate Grand Order.
You can just Google them and then look at them. You don't have to pay money. I don't
You go to
understand.
Pixiv and you search Fate Grand Order. Ooh, the quality waifus in the Fate universe on Pixiv. Some real quality stuff there, boys. I mean, I would share some, but some of it is not safe for Twitch.
Do you think when someone buys like $100 Ronaldo gets a cut of it?
I don't think so. I think what they do is they license the teams from whoever team Ronaldo's on, and they get percent of the whole revenue. I guess indirectly, because every time the game makes money, a certain percent of royalties gets paid to the FIFA, and they pay out to the teams.
Yeah, is Fate owned by Konami? I kind of don't like Konami. So
no, owned by Sony.
Okay, that's fine then.
Fate Grand Order is owned by Aniplex, which is owned by Sony. Why do you like Konami?
They fired my boy Hideo Kojima. All right.
Oh yeah. Rip. Look at that loyalty, Altai. You haven't played any Metal Gear Solid game since Metal Gear Solid 2.
I've played 3. I haven't beat it, but I played it.
Really?
Yep.
I remember I played 3. I don't remember you playing 3.
You walking through the jungle.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You walk through the jungle. That's it. There you go. That's Metal Gear Solid 3, boys.
It is. Wait, that's the whole game.
That's the game. That's Altai's review. You're walking through the jungle. Period. Over. Review. 4 to 5, right?
You eat snake.
You eat snake. There you go.
Oh yeah, you do eat snake. I remember that trailer. Right? They rip off the head.
There you go. Hashtag fuck Konami. There you go. You look at the blonde chick's boobs. That's a key part of the game as well, Canaris. That is true. It's a very key part of the game. But this loot box discussion reminded me. I remember somebody asked the CEO of Take-Two, right? Mm-hmm. The guys that make GTA Online and Red Dead Redemption. How do you feel about the loot box regulation? Do you see it as a threat? And apparently he said that that's not going to happen because loot boxes will not be regulated the way that one senator claimed because of First Amendment issues. Apparently, there's a legal argument to be made on First Amendment issues that they can make the game however they want, and as a fight against government regulation. There's a good article on it on GamesIndustry.biz. They were saying that wasn't like a bulletproof legal defense, but there's an argument to be made on First Amendment rights for game developers to basically make the games the way they see fit, which actually was the reason I think California in the 90s passed a law against like violent video games, and it got overturned in the Supreme Court, which said basically First Amendment overrules the California decision on it. And even though California argued that it would harm minors, right? That was their reason behind it. It was harming minors, the violence in video games. And it got overturned on First Amendment issues. And they're arguing that even if you want to make the argument that, loot boxes can harm minors, they can still win the legal argument on First Amendment rights.
Well, that'll work for the ability to produce it. So, for example, imagine like the most gruesome novel that involves rape. Like just a guy, Chad the rapist, and he's just running around raping. He's running around raping everyone. All right, and it's a novel, right? You can write that. You can write it. You can put it on DeviantArt. You can sell it on your website. But it doesn't mean it's going to be available for on the App Store. It's not going to be available on Google Play Store.
Do you think Sony would not put a game with loot boxes on the PlayStation market?
No,
Steam wouldn't. Why wouldn't they?
No, they might. But what if the internet provider says we will not be allowing that?
The ISP?
Yeah.
Is allowing. Like,
we got rid of net neutrality.
They're allowing fake incest porn on Pornhub, and they're not going to allow.
Well, I'm just
loot boxes?
The point I'm making is even you are correct that they have a First Amendment right to produce it, but there's many ways to assault it on the distribution down channel.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, there's a reason. Why? I mean, there's no games about people running around like, cutting each other's heads off, right?
Yeah, because nobody's going to buy it. There's not a big market for that. There are ultra violent games and ultra sexual games. There's a niche, very stupidly niche market for that. No big developers are going to make games that are stupidly extra violent and rapey. I think
you'd be surprised how many legal loopholes there are to stop this stuff.
Maybe like the only part that I would actually like about loot box regulation personally is if we could just get the odds out there for the gotchas and the loot boxes. Like today, what's stopping Overwatch? I mean, I doubt Blizzard's doing this, right? Or any like legitimate game company, right? But what's stopping a mobile game company or any loot box company from just basically like they can show a really rare item in the loot box, and they can make it so it's literally impossible to get in the first $50 to spend, right? Because imagine if you're a game developer and some player is going to roll like the best item on the first roll, like you could just make it so that just never happened to get them to spend more money. What do you gain out of giving that player the best item on the first roll? You just lose money by doing that. You lose potential spend.
Is it hypothetically or like today?
Yeah, today. What's stopping them from?
Oh, because both Apple and Google say you must reveal your odds.
Okay, but
you will be banned from the server.
How can you prove without government regulation or force that they're actually following those odds?
Oh. Well,
If they say
no,
that there's
no.
there's a 0.1% chance to get this rare item, and let's say your RNG hits and you got it the first roll, that the game developer can look at your player spend and see this guy only spent $10. We're not giving it to him. Reroll. Until he spends a minimum, maybe like
I mean,
$1,000.
at the end of the day, the only thing they can is just civil court cases between the parties. So
It seems impossible to prove. I think you need a government. That would be a good argument, I think, for force. Because for example, the U.S. The U.S. has something called the Bureau of like Weights and Measures, right? Where like where the scales in like jewelry stores or in gas stations, right? Those gas pumps. Every month, a guy comes from the government to make sure your gas pumps aren't lying. When it says you can pump 5 gallons of gas, it better pump 5.00 gallons of gas up to like certain decimal point. Otherwise, you get fined huge amounts of money, and you have to like, pay compensation. And they have for jewelry stores where they're weighing your gold, your scales can't be broken. That level of regulation, I don't think would be unheard of or unfair for game companies to at least enforce their publicly published numbers. So if the App Store says there's a 1% chance of getting this item, it better be 1%. Like don't lie. And there's nothing to stop, especially Chinese companies from like I guarantee this happens. They're just probably lying. Or if their algorithm can predict you as a player are likely to spend money, they're not going to give you the best item up front. They're going to set up their reward system, their dopamine drip, to make sure to maximize your player spending. And with how much data they gather from other players, they can figure out what the perfect reward they give you is along the way. So they can make your $10,000 spend just as exciting as your $5,000 spend,
Well, I think that's why I do prefer China's method. So in China, the government says there's a law saying, these companies must reveal their odds. Whereas in America, we've taken the more laissez-faire market approach where the companies like Apple and Google have, as private companies, said, if you want to be on our platform, you must reveal your odds. I mean, that's great too, but I'll take I'll take the option number one. The government saying, if you do this, you are breaking the law, and you will face, the barrel of the communist, rifle. Okay.
There you go. I'm okay with it. I just don't want people to get defrauded like that, and it seems like a pretty safe. If you want to make it odds 0.01%, make it that, but just be clear what the odds are and make those the actual odds and make it enforceable by by criminal courts.
Yep. Yeah. I guess I'm surprised. I'm surprised hearing this coming from you, Mark. Usually you defend the more American approach.
I don't want the companies to scam players, and that's what I'm worried about with with how much loot boxes are everywhere. I just want the numbers to be fair. I'm okay with them making the loot box odds like stupidly low, like 0.00001% chance to get Golden Ronaldo. If you get Golden Ronaldo, he just one shots everyone. He just wins. All right, whatever. Like I don't care about the fairness of that part. I just want the numbers to be enforceably fair. Somebody mentioned in the chat they spent 15,000 Australian dollars on FFXIV. Listen, that game has got beautiful graphics and it's got quality waifus. $15,000.
Just a gotcha addict. There you go. Well, at least you've been lucky with the numbers.
Okay, I'm gonna quiz you. I'll tell you, this is a pop quiz for everyone in the chat. All right.
Okay.
Pop quiz.
Pop quiz, real quick. Pop quiz. Am I
Pop
clicking
quiz.
this? All right.
Boy or girl?
You already told me. It's a boy.
Pop quiz for everyone else.
Pop quiz. I give it away.
I'll take give it away, boys. But this character, because somebody in the chat mentioned FFXIV, so I had to show off a screenshot from FFXIV I took a while ago, and I didn't know because I wasn't really reading the story. But I'm like, wait a minute, this is a Japanese game. It's like by a Korean company, actually. It's probably not Japanese. So like, it's got this anime aesthetic. You never quite know. But yeah, you can see on the left side over there it says the kingdom's lovable, enthusiastic prince.
There you go, prince.
The question was it a boy or a girl? Apparently everybody knew. My rule: if the character is not obviously a girl, it's a boy. But Canaris, this looks obvious like a girl to me. This looks like an obvious like a girl, Canaris. So you never know. All right, Master SG 2013. If this character reaches into your pants, do you let it happen?
Yeah, you go to prison for that.
Whoa, whoa! In the world of FFXIV, where anything goes. All right.
So it's a boy prince. All right.
It's an e-boy prince. All right, we gotta mention Superdata as well because they came out their research report just today on worldwide digital games market. Guess who's number one again, boys? League of Legends.
Well, on the PC front.
On the PC front. You got some fantasy Westward Journey. That game again is always top tier on that list. All right, it's always League of Legends then DFO. So DFO is still the number one MMORPG in the world, boys. DFO is number one. What's remarkable is that game is still growing. Revenues from DFO are still going up. So it is the most successful MMORPG. Now, World of Warcraft launched a big update, I think, clearly last month to get on number 7 on this list. So WoW is number 7. I've never seen Final Fantasy 14 actually on this list. I think it'll probably make it next month because of
Shadowbringer.
Well, Shadowbringers for the official launch in July.
I'm curious to see if it will, because when you mentioned that, okay, it's not confirmed, but it looks like now Final Fantasy has more subscribers than WoW. It kind of I didn't initially believe it, because I've seen WoW on this list many weeks, months in a row, right? Mm-hmm. But I've never once seen Final Fantasy.
I have neither. Yeah, you're right.
So it is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we got a few odd ones, like Roblox is number 10. That's pretty impressive. Number 10 PC top earning game is Roblox. We got one surprise in the mobile section. Did you know this? Game for Peace is number 6.
There you go. That's basically PUBG Mobile in China. I'm trying to find a gameplay video for Fantasy Westward Journey.
Oh, wait, a really old
classic. I got one. Mute audio though again, so you guys can see what this is. The second highest grossing MMORPG in the world after Dungeon Fighter Online, boys. This is peak MMORPG. Okay, fuck Final Fantasy 14, World of Warcraft, DF, all these games that you like. Guild Wars 2. Psh, this game makes 100 times more than Guild Wars 2. ESO Online. Nope. Fantasy Westward Journey, boys.
Why is he playing Mario? Okay, here we go. This is the graphics right here.
This is the game, boys. Look at these riveting graphics. This game is popping. All right, this is the game. Yeah, we should play this. All right.
Oh, I think we should play this. Just to see. Unfortunately, it's all probably in Chinese, so it's very hard to navigate. We
found the perfect MMO, guys. This looks like Gaia Online with those graphics, with the avatars, doesn't it? It gives me Gaia Online vibes.
Yeah, it looks like a '90s mobile game, a browser game.
This game is huge.
Who is playing this? Tens of millions of Chinese people are playing this.
Yes, there you go. Literally million. There's at least probably 1 million players online in this game right now. Okay. It's the third highest grossing PC game in the world last month. It's always on this list as highest grossing games. It consistently makes more money than World of Warcraft. It consistently makes more money than like almost any other PC game.
So what are the system requirements? You need a potato with a penny with a wire going from one side to the other of the potato. Okay.
Yeah. Anything above that setup though, the game just doesn't run. Right. It's got to be. No, they add a feature for SLIing your potatoes, so now you get 2 potatoes. Anything beyond that is just a no-go, though. Can we
just take a minute to appreciate this? A, the resolution in the game, and B, how much of this screen is taken up by the menus.
I love it.
This guy has no room for anything. It's just menus.
Yo, whoa! We talk shit about Mu Online. Mu Online is still really popular too. I mean, it's obviously nowhere near on the top 10 list, but that game is still hella popular on private servers. I've seen there are so many private servers in Mu Online with like some crazy amount of people. Chinese people are highly vulnerable to microtransaction service and a never-ending play experience. I think a lot of Western games are kind of going into that monetization loop as well with a never-ending player experience. So we'll get there too. We're not quite. I don't think Westerners spend as much money on mobile games the way Chinese players do, but they'll get there.
That looks pretty dope. Watching this video though, I can see how much of the design decisions in newer Chinese games, like what's that one that we played for a while with we were killing the buns or whatever, the food. We were hunting food.
Oh yeah, Revelation Online.
Revelation Online. Like when I'm looking at the inventory in this game, it's got these like random pods and peas and like different powders. So I think a lot of the design decisions for these more recent games came from this one.
So the game is impressive. It's really let's see another gameplay video. This is more authentic. It's a Chinese gameplay video for Fantasy Westward Journey. This video came out in 2017, and I don't know what he's doing. So this is the newer UI, new and improved UI.
Oh, it's a little cleaner, I guess.
Yeah, a little higher resolution. We can see a little more. I don't know what he's doing. Upgrade.
He's rolling.
I don't think he's doing anything.
I think he's showing off his gear.
Maybe
he's doing some math. Like it's a Chinese game, it's an Asian game. You gotta do some random math while you're playing.
So a lot of these Chinese games, I think, still encourage like the shop system where there's no auction house. You just got to set up a shop.
Oh man.
I'm trying to find out.
He literally has his calculator open half the time.
Boy's doing math, all right? Okay, so I'm looking at Chang Yu's. They're Chinese game developer, right? And in their earnings call, some analysts asked Chang Yu, for your PC and mobile games, how many hours a day do your players play these games, right? PC versus mobile. And the company representative replied, take PC for example. For example, players take, on average, 10 hours per day in the game. So the average player who plays a Chang Yu game spends 10 hours per day. And obviously, most of those, they say for 10 hours in PC games, typically, players are just sitting there selling things. So the person's not actually sitting from the desk. but for 10 hours a day, they leave their game running.
I
Which
was
is probably one of the reasons the concurrent users are so high for these games.
When you said 10 hours and before the shop part, imagine, guys, this is the gameplay. This is the combat in this game. Imagine playing this for 10 hours a day. This is my definition of hell. Like like this is like the worst punishment you can give somebody. Look at this.
No, the gameplay looks pretty dope, right? Look at this. Some turn-based combat.
This is suffocating. Oh, the calculator's open. He's got to do some math.
Wait, why is the calculator? What's
He's got to figure out the ratios and what attack.
Yeah, there you go. Your video's better. Don't click mine. That boy's busting out the calculator all the time for optimal play. I never have to bust out the calculator and play Final Fantasy 14. Maybe this game is more in depth than Final Fantasy 14.
Look at this. He just brings up the calculator during combat.
I love it. That tells there's some depth to this game. This guy's got to constantly dual wield calculator while playing the game. Look at it. He's adding some shit up. That's actually pretty cool. There's a lot of MMORPGs. Your rotation, right, doesn't really involve any kind of like critical thinking or math skills. It'd be really cool to see like in certain situations, it might be more optimal to like do different moves. For the most part in Final Fantasy 14, you're doing the same rotation almost all the time and adjusting it just based on movement. It'd be cool to see if like different spells affect different things at certain times differently, almost with a random degree. Just so like you have to crunch numbers, and the best players are both mechanically skilled and like mathematically inclined. That'd be really cool.
The math MMO, all right? A learning MMO, all right? You got to show off your learning abilities.
So for comparison, by the way, the Changyu representative said for mobile games, players spend about 4 to 5 hours per day. Again, these are average numbers, which is insane. Who plays 4 to 5 hours a day average of mobile games? So remember, 10 hours for PC, leave the game running, and a bit less for mobile. But that's like 4 to 5 hours of actual gameplay.
I suspect a lot of that is also automated though, because the autoplay running, so you can just kind of leave your phone on your desk at work or something while just playing.
All right. Out of curiosity, since this Douyu just IPO'd, let me see if we can link you a fun stream on Douyu.
We're gonna Inception this, all right? We're gonna show you a stream on stream.
This one's not working. All right, let's see if we can find it. All right, this game is popping right now.
Let's see it.
Actually, I can't find a way to mute it, so I don't want to look at you because it's very loud and very Chinese.
I can mute it on my end, just on Firefox.
Okay.
I'm just gonna mute all of Firefox.
Yeah, because there's no mute button I can see on the game.
Yeah.
On the actual stream.
All right, let's see this.
This game is apparently popping, boys. At least a CrossFire. This is another game on the list anyway, so it's worth looking at. You see this guy's like
Can we take a minute to appreciate this website? Like, there's so much shit on my screen right now.
This is peak
what is
design.
going on?
This is peak design. This is what Twitch will look like in 5 years when we catch up to the glorious Chinese. This is peak design.
Jesus Christ!
Look at this boy's purple ass glowing AK-47.
This website.
Bayonet. Do you see like this text floating around?
I'm just Xing shit out all the time.
This is what Twitch will look like in due time. All right, this is a natural progression of things. This Chinese live streaming is like years ahead of American live streaming, and we're gonna add all the same shit. Watch, it's gonna happen. So this game, I'm pretty sure is, again, I'm not 100% sure, but because it's so popular on Douyu, I'm pretty sure this is Crossfire.
Yeah, it looks a lot like Crossfire to me.
Yeah, but a lot of these, tactical lobby shooting games all look very similar. So this game was actually on our list as well. I think it's the 4th highest grossing game in the world. This game is actually more popular than Fortnite last month, boys. Bigger than Fortnite. All right, all the kids are playing Fortnite. You bust out this game.
Oh, he's got his op. Yes. Oh, look at that. Ooh.
Pretty sure it's all pay to win too. Like you buy like golden ops that just.
Man, this guy is a pro.
Well, of course, he's a pro. He's got like 30,000 people watching him all the time. Yeah, professional.
Oh, he failed.
He bust out the knife.
Get wrecked, kid.
Ripperino. Mission failed. Rip kid. This game never really took off in the West. Obviously, CS:GO is our go-to tactical shooter, but this game is unbelievably popular in China for whatever reason. It just seems like an inferior CS:GO, and I like how everyone just flipping between their knife and their weapon too. A very common CS:GO thing.
And
did you just trade kills with that guy? They both killed each other.
Yeah, they both killed her. I feel like it doesn't really happen as much in like Western games. We just both die.
I don't think it ever happens really.
It's a problem when it happens. I feel.
Yeah, I just feel like it just sounded like shit netcode. It's a shitty pay-to-win version of CS. Sign me up, Pog. Dude, the Digital Dummy playing these pay-to-win mobile games, these pay-to-win shooters are hilarious. I played some Counter-Strike Next on Zombies. My friend had like the same weapon as me, but it was golden and it did AoE damage. So if you played it's basically CS 1.6 with mods, is what well, it's not really a mod, it's the official version of Counter Next on Zombies. There's like he had like the 100 bullet weapon, the saw, whatever it's called, and the only difference between his weapon and my weapon was his did AoE damage. So his bullets were AoE. When they land, they like explode. It's just literally a pay to win weapon.
Amazing.
So it's amazing. It's the same. Otherwise, the stats are the same, but it's just AoE damage. And there's like golden bullets in these games. They're completely. It's weird. Like you don't think there'd be a competitive scene around pay to win stuff, but I'm not sure what they do in tournaments. But like, they might ban the pay to win tournaments. I don't know. But it is weird to see like in a competitive game, just obviously pay to win stuff.
Well, quick update on CrossFire, guys. You know, Microsoft is very desperate to try to make Xbox relevant because it's it's getting demolished by PS4, and they actually have paid to have this game CrossFire come as a temporary exclusive for Xbox. So if you want to play Crossfire and you don't want to play on PC and you want to play on that Xbox of yours, don't worry. Microsoft has got you covered.
My favorite part about this, I'm looking at this Douyu website in is the translations. If you look at like PUBG, it translates to Jedi Survival with Google Translate, which is really weird.
I saw that.
There's some fun stuff.
I'm gonna go on the homepage here. Am I gonna be assaulted?
You'll be assaulted. Well, just browse this website. It's nice.
It's I found the e-girl section right here.
Ooh, I thought I found his favorite section. All right, click it. Actually, there's a lot of streamers in China which just do like karaoke. A lot more variety streamers, like IRL streamers.
All right, which of these lotus petals shall we view today?
Click it to there you go, lotus petal. Is that what you're calling them?
That's what I'm calling them. Oh, she's playing a mobile game.
Ooh.
How do I start this? Oh, she's real. She's a real gamer. No face, just game. So what is she playing? Is this Honor of Kings?
This looks like Honor of Kings, but for sure. I mean, that game is still crazy popular in China. This was actually the #1 game on the. We're really going through our Superdata. Yeah, Honor of Kings was the #1 game in mobile last month in China. So we're really going through our list, by the way. So you're seeing the most successful and most popular games in the world on the MMOs.com stream. All right.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, week after week, we always mention certain Chinese games being the biggest and most profitable games. But there's some this is a truth to this. We went on this website, we clicked the homepage, and bam, these games are coming up. So we're not BSing you. These are actually popular games somehow.
Yeah, unfortunately, Honor of Kings basically is not doing very well. It's called Arena of Valor in the West. It's not doing very well in the West. It just has not taken off. I think the entire like mobile market, if you want to call it that, a market, is not very big. There's only like 3 games, and none of them are doing particularly well. I don't just the Western mobile like gaming environment is not well developed beyond like mobile strategy games. None of these games. Is he playing Lucian? That's totally Lucian.
So how many people are watching this? Is there a way to tell?
It's very hard to tell, but it looks like, you see that fire in the top? It's 118,000. I think that has some relation to the number of people watching, but I'm not sure it's a concurrent number or not. I know on Huya it's a little easier to tell. I think Huya's got a concurrent number, but Douyu doesn't give you a specific number. It gives you like this hot number, which is some reference that people are watching. I mean, don't be surprised. This is China. They got like much bigger audience, than the West. So it could be a thing.
This girl's name is YOLO. I like it.
There's a tournament going on right now, Alpha. You see the tournament?
Tournament? What tournament?
Look at this. Look at this. This looks dope. This looks like look at this. This looks like I'm watching like LCS, doesn't it?
Let's see. Mine's loading.
This looks really cool. This looks just like LCS.
Oh, there's a button called Live in English. Which one did I click? I'm gonna click Live.
Whoa, there's English? Yo, let's watch the English cast.
Nah, you gotta be authentic. Or it's like anime, you gotta watch with the subs.
All right, but there are no subs. It's just stuff. I mean, maybe we should watch this in the post game then.
Maybe we should. Any other news before we move on to this beautiful cup, mainland China?
I think we mentioned Kingdom of Fire 2 was going to launch eventually, but I think we both agreed that was dead on arrival, right?
Yes, because it's shut down in Korea already. And we also mentioned, I think you put up the news article where Dragon's Dogma Online is shutting down. It was a Japanese game that never made it here, and never will. No.
Yeah, we had a guide for how to play the Japanese version, which will be completely useless when the game shuts down. Which actually it's already useless now because you can no longer download the client.
Another sad story. I think last year Nexon announced they were working on a PC 4v4 MOBA. Did you hear about this one more? Ascendant Online. It was being developed by DevCat. And it is also now shutting down in Korea, which means it'll probably never come
Rest
here.
in pepperoni.
So who knew that a 4v4 PC MOBA wouldn't work in 2019, you know?
They're a little late to the MOBA bandwagon. They should at least do a battle royale. Come on.
Yeah, agreed.
There's also the new Lord of the Rings MMO being worked on by Amazon Game Studios and Douyu.
Yes, that's a big
nothing
story
about it. It's a big story, but there's nothing to work with. Literally no screenshots, no release dates, nothing. It's gonna be a free to play MMO on PC and console. We know that for a fact, based on Lord of the Rings, and it's being co-developed by Amazon Game Studios, the people that the team that worked on New World, which is still not out yet, and some division of Douyu. And Douyu is a company that owns multiple game studios. They own the guys that make Warframe. They own the guys that make they own Splash Damage. It's called another studio, but I'm not sure. Like again, we have nothing to work off of. No screenshots, no videos, no release date. New Lord of the Rings Online PC game, AAA game. They're calling it, free to play MMO. It's good that we got another MMO in the works, which is awesome. But not too much to get hyped about because again, nothing to go off yet.
Yeah, I think Amazon Game Studio is kind of I don't know, kind of petering out there. I don't know what they're up to.
Kind of a flop before they really released anything.
Yeah, they shut down. Breakaway was their first game. It was not a breakaway; it was a shutdown. And New World, they kind of made a big hype about it. They know they actually offered to fly us out to play it in the closed beta. And I know a lot of people that did go and play the closed beta, but since then, really, hasn't really updated much. What else we got? We got bad news for Blizzard. Another co-founder just left. So,
yikes.
So he was there since day one, 28 years, and he left. And this is following the other more well-known guy, Morhaime. He left. I don't know. Last year, maybe this year. I don't know. But I think it's a bad sign. I think things are going south at Blizzard.
Clearly, when you have co-founders and big shots leaving, that quickly, definitely not good for them.
Yeah, only the mobile guys left. So
yeah, there's some. You can see the stock price has been tanking recently as well. Maybe good speculation, but can't recommend that on the stream.
Where has Warcraft 3 Reforged been?
I'm still waiting for that.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for at least a release date.
That's really the only game I'm kind of hyped for.
Yeah. But yeah, sad day for Blizzard. I think the old Blizzard we knew Mark growing up is kind of officially dead now. We suspected it for a while, but I think we can make it official now. What else? What else we got? Oh, we got a Romance of the Three Kingdoms PC game coming out by Nexon. Did you hear about this?
No, what's going on?
So Nexon has a mobile game called Three Kingdoms Cow Battle, which is just a generic, he's one of the leaders of the empires or something. And now they're porting this mobile game to PC. So if you ever wanted to play Three Kingdoms mobile strategy game,
how exciting!
So here's some graphics.
Mobile strategy is my favorite, guys.
It's basically the same thing. You got this giant map of China. You click around. You pay money. This part looks kind of like
you pay to win.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Fire Emblem actually. But we'll see. Free to play, obviously, when it comes out. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it does. There it is. That's all I got.
That's it, boys. Let's go to the post game. Let's see some quality Honor of Kings gameplay.
All right.
Thanks for watching for YouTube.
Take care and stick around for some hot Chinese gameplay.
Hot Chinese takes.
All right. Take care.